Hi everyone. So I made a really awesome purchase recently, and I decided to invest in a Panasonic GH2. Now the reason why I invested in it is for two things. I really wanted to improve the quality of my videos. I wanted to give them a more of a cinematic quality. Small things like having bokeh in the videos, as well as being able to enjoy a very different profile of color than what's available, more of a cinematic view in comparison to the GoPro that I currently own. I saw this really awesome recommendation video by Glenn Fricker, and that by far has been one of the most interesting, most helpful things that I've watched on YouTube, at least when it comes to guitar recording. So I went ahead and invested in it. I got myself with this camera, which I'm using. You're watching the footage from that camera right now. I got myself a really awesome Canon FD lens from the late 70s. It's a Canon FD 35mm 2.8, and I got an adapter, a micro four thirds adapter, because the Panasonic GH2 is a micro four thirds camera, so therefore of course we need that adapter to be able to use it. So that has been a really wonderful change. You guys just watched some footage of me using the product, or maybe you'll see it after this. I've had some issues with the product though along the way. I've owned it for around 3 or 4 months now, and it's not perfect. You really have to tinker with it to be able to make it work. I'm personally a Mac user, so there's going to be some issues along the way that you're going to have if you happen to be a Mac user like me. The first issue that I noticed, at least for me, is that the file type was not working on my Mac. I use iMovie. I use obviously, which is a program that comes with all Macs, and the file type wasn't working properly. It gave me a lot of issues. Sometimes it would work well, other times it would lag after a few seconds, or sometimes I would only be able to hear sound, and it would be a black screen that I would see. Other times I wouldn't, nothing at all from the video would work. So that really wasn't fun. So I decided to invest some time into trying to find something that would work for me. And what I found was Handbrake. Handbrake was a really awesome program that gave me the chance to move that MOV file into a .mp4. So that helped a lot. In fact, the footage you're seeing right now had to be converted for me to be able to use it with iMovie. I am speculating right now from the information that I saw with trying to edit this in DaVinci Resolve that this issue might be fixable for free through DaVinci Resolve in a PC, meaning like a Windows operating system, but it might be more expensive for like a Mac user. In the future, I might try out upgrading into Final Cut Pro to see if that issue gets resolved through that change of the program. But for now, of course, I'm going to use the free option, which is to simply convert the file. There are some issues, of course, with converting it, because I've seen my files go from, let's say, 7 megabytes or megabits, whichever one happens to be, into maybe 20 megabits or megabytes. And so that is that's indicative of a potentially reducing the quality of the file. So that has been the first thing that I had an issue with. Now the next two are really not that big a deal. This is my first time owning a DSLR, and then on top of that, I'd never used a manual focus lens. So in the beginning, I would try using this product, and it would be extremely dark. I'm going to demonstrate right now. So you have to use the adapter properly. You just have to. If you use it incorrectly, the change of the aperture is not going to work properly. you're supposed to move it in a way, and I'm going to show this, you can see it on probably on the screen now of me showing you how to properly connect it. But if you don't connect it properly, what's going to happen is you're going to try moving the aperture through the lens itself and not through the adapter, and it's going to stay pretty dark. So I'm going to show you what my footage looked like when I first started using this camera. So as you can see, it's very dark. Can't even see me. You can probably only see like tiny little parts of my face. That's how bad it is. That's what I had to deal with, you guys. It wasn't fun. So yes, it makes a huge difference. Your experience with the product, your experience overall with DSLRs. Now the third issue that I had, Glenn Fricker recommended this because it has a flip screen, a screen that you can see while you're trying to record yourself. Now, for me at least, for the guitar playthroughs that I'm doing, specifically with the Canon FD lens, I'm using, again, it's a 35mm, and there's a crop ratio here. I have this about 9 feet away from me to be able to make, to be able to catch myself playing. And I've had a few issues along the way. The biggest one being the fact that it's so far away from me that the flip screen is just not very usable. I'm currently using this product connected to a monitor, which I use for computer purposes most of the time. So that in itself, it definitely, I thought, one of the reasons for the purchase, not just for the change in quality, that cinematic view, but to also be able to use a flip screen, which I don't have in my GoPro, and it sort of defeated that purpose. But you can fix this issue with a simple like mini HDMI to regular HDMI cable, which I invested in. For me at least, it was like $10 on Amazon. Totally worth it. I'm actually being able to see myself on a monitor on the side, and I can see the tiny little changes that do happen, because you can't really tell those details apart from the tiny little flip screen this product has. There are some ways to fix it. I'm speculating right now, and feel free to add in the comments if you want me to do this in the future, but I'm speculating that if I had the Lumix lenses, so the lenses that go with this camera, maybe even the one that came standard with it, it might actually be a lot easier to use it, because I would be able to keep the camera closer to me. Glenn did mention in the video that it's better to keep the camera as far away from the subject as possible. So, let me know in the comments if you really want me to try this out. I'm going to do a nice shootout about that of my current lens with a Lumix lens. Beyond that, second issue that I've had, for me at least, is bokeh. Because I can't have the camera close to me when I'm playing some guitar, I can't really play around with the background too much. I'm sure there's some more creative ways to go around it, like for example having a nice close-up view of the guitar, maybe my hands, maybe my left hand or my right hand, maybe some shots around me, to try to play around with that concept, because bokeh, of course, is, as far as I can tell, pretty important to be able to create some quality content, but of course not 100% necessary. And that has been my learning process with this camera. I hope that it's been helpful to some of you, and if you want to continue to see content like this, subscribe, let me know in the comments, and I hope you have an amazing day.